Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Song. I am your host, Kia Flo, and on this episode, we are taking a look at The Caves of Altamira by Steely Dan. Recently, we created a poll on our YouTube community tab asking you all which artist or group we should cover next, along with the song suggestion. Although we received no song suggestions, this group came in first place for votes, which I personally was excited about. I planned on covering them next anyway, so the cards just fell as they were supposed to. There were quite a few songs I could have used, and I just may spin the block in the near future to cover them, but The Caves of Altamira is my favorite song by this group, so you know I had to hop on it. As a spoken word artist and somewhat of a storyteller, the only way I can seem to describe this song is simply poetic. The fact that they can take what seems to be an excerpt from history and make it into a funky rock song is pure genius and motivating if I've ever said so. But enough about all of that. Let's get to the story of this song. Steely Dan is an American jazz rock band which formed in 1972. The band was formed by Donald Fagen, vocals and keyboard, and Walter Becker, guitar and bass. They both met in 1967 while attending Bard College in Annandale-on-Hudson, New York, and began a songwriting partnership that eventually grew into something phenomenal. Becker and Fagen played together in a variety of bands from their time at school, but they later moved to Los Angeles where they formed a band of musicians and began recording albums. The band was originally a six-piece consisting of Fagen, Becker, David Palmer, who was also on vocals, Jeff "Skunk" Baxter on guitar, Denny Diaz on guitar, and Jimmy Holder on drums, but by 1975, only Fagen and Becker remained. The Caves of Altamira is not only a cave in Spain containing paintings and drawings made by Neanderthals, but is also a track from Steely Dan's fifth studio album, The Royal Scam. It wasn't released as a single. However, to this day, it has more streams than two of the three singles released from the 1976 album. As it pertains to the meaning of this song, I found a variety of beliefs and interpretations, but of those, I was able to find from the writers themselves the true meaning. According to Songfacts.com, in a 2000 BBC online chat with Donald Fagen and Walter Becker of Steely Dan, they shared their thoughts on the meaning behind the song. Becker called it a story about the loss of innocence. Fagen said it's a pretty straightforward story about a guy who visits the caves of Altamira, which has famous drawings by prehistoric men and women, as the case may be, and he registers his astonishment. The song is based on a story from a book written by Hans Baumann, The Caves of the Great Hunters. The album The Royal Scam was not as highly rated upon its release as its predecessors, with most reviews finding that it did not show any musical progress. However, the original Rolling Stone review was more positive, and ultimately the magazine gave it 5 stars in a later Hall of Fame review. In 2000, it was voted number 868 in Colin Larkin's all-time top 1,000 albums. I found that The Caves of Altamira was sampled at least 2 times and covered at least 3, including a soul funk version by Perry. I also have to give a personal shout out to the saxophone soloist John Clemmer because I get lost in the sound each time I hear it. S. Victor Aaron of Something Else Reviews even states, toss in a willowy sax solo by John Clemmer in the instrumental break, and you've got an old song that's done up so well it never gets old with me. The band played its final shows with Walter Becker in 2017, as he died from complications of esophageal cancer on September 3rd of that year. Fagen remembered his longtime friend and bandmate in a note released to the media, promising to keep the music they created together alive as long as he can with Steely Dan Band. It also should be noted that there are quite a few former and current members that were not mentioned in this video. But stay tuned and let us know in the comments which songs you like by Steely Dan. And now, it's time for me singing this song in the shower. I recall when I was small, how I spent my days alone. The busy world was not for me, so I went and found my own. I would climb a garden wall with a candle in my hand. I'd hide inside a hole of rock and sand. And for copyright purposes, we're not going to sing the rest of that song. And that was Steely Dan with the Caves of Altamira on Behind the Song. If this video brought back some old school memories, or if you are curious to listen, go find this and any other song we have covered online, usually on most streaming platforms and most certainly on YouTube. Let's show these artists that their work is still being discovered and rediscovered, and that music never dies. We hope you have enjoyed this episode, and we pray you come back for more. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like, and make sure you are subscribed with your notification bell turned on so you're updated whenever we upload a new video. Until next time.